Italians.
What about support for Peter in the community? Was he an outpatient at Hunter's Moor? Was he still under Willie Barker?
Yes, we saw Willie Barker frequently at first, and we did have, until fairly recently, we had a support worker and a psychiatric social worker. We saw the support worker about every 6 weeks. They used to come home and have a chat, and we knew we could ring them and ask questions. And every now and again, the psychiatric social worker would come and see us, and we got on very well. They were very nice people and very efficient. They knew you could ask them anything.
So 19 years, it's a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, what could you have really done with for yourself and for Peter in the community?
It's very difficult because Peter wasn't a clubby person to start with. He was something of a loner. So it's no surprise to me that he doesn't like going to group places anyway. He's no different to what he was before in the way. But he has been to a few classes. He did a GCSE in English language, he was. And he did it. He got a D, and he was very, very put out and insisted on having a reslit, and he got a C. He already had an A-level in English, and that's what and half a degree really, but he did it, and it was, it was quite a thing to do. He's been to a few other classes, but classes where you're required to memorise, you can't do that. It's difficult because you can't. He knows what he knew before, but new information doesn't. It might be there somewhere, but it can't come out again. It might come out in 6 months' time, but certainly it doesn't come out when he needs it. So he started up with the classes and just decided he couldn't remember when he got home what he'd been doing when he got in the class. The lecturers at the college were very upset because he participated so well within the class. But he felt it was useless when he couldn't remember it when he came out.
What about for yourself then, Margaret? What could you have done with?
I think perhaps someone saying you should do, well, not you should, but how about if you did this, that and the other. Perhaps it's the wrong analogy, but if someone has cancer, then you get Marie Curie nurses and you get Macmillan nurses. And someone will come in and say, you really need to fill this form in, that form in, and the other form in, we'll help you to do it. That's perhaps something which is a start. As it happens, I did know a little bit about it because I had worked in an advice centre for pensioners. Peter's not a pensioner, but the same things apply. If you're faced with a big form with umpteen pages in and you fill them in to the best of your ability, even if you know something about it, they're going to throw it back at you, and they did. They said Peter could do meals for himself, and he couldn't even speak, and he couldn't walk, but that's the answer we got. And it took quite a bit to get things organised in that way. And if there'd been somebody there, and of course had Headway been there at the time, we might have had some pointers that way.
Now you mentioned Headway there. You've been one of the founding members of Headway Wearside. What would you like Headway Wearside to achieve in the future?
I'd like to get more people interested, more people coming to find out if it's got anything for them. And for us to realise, yes, it has, if they help in as well. It's got to be a two-way thing. It's very lonely if you haven't got family, close family. It's lonely for the person who's head injured, certainly, because the people that they went out with don't live here anymore. The people they went to school with don't. They're friends for years. They don't see them anymore because they don't live here and they don't have family here anymore. But just to know that there is somewhere where you can meet people who are like you, who are battling the best of your ability, both as a patient and as a family member who are trying to help. Sometimes you feel, well, am I saying the right thing or am I doing the right thing? And just chatting to someone who's in the same boat is a great help.
You mentioned that Peter's a bit of a loner. I know he's a determined individual, and I know that he's also attended quite a few activities of Headway Wearside. How's Peter benefited from these activities?
Well, he's done things that he wouldn't have done otherwise. They say it's good for the soul to do some things that you don't, occasionally, that you don't like to do. He's gone bowling, which he used to do sometimes, and he enjoys that. He comes to the meetings because I'm coming to the meetings, but he does take it in and says, you know, what about this and where are we going? And he remembers some of the things we do. But there's things, perhaps it's got to start somewhere, I know, but working with computers, learning how to, if you've already used computers, then going back to them and working on with a computer and going on to websites and things, that would be a big help, because I'm barely computer literate. I can manage just so that to teach Peter anything or to watch him when he's using it, I would be a bit of useless, I think.